Well, what's this? I wonder what this is. You know what this is? Because I know what this is. It's VanillaTyme's birthday. Or at least a birthday present. In fact, it's for me. Ooh. 7th birthday VanillaTyme. Technically, it would have been in the past, as this video would have come out at a later date, but it's still pretty cool. And yeah, everybody gets one of these who's on the server. All you have to do is go and pick one up. And that's exactly what I did. If you want to get one yourself, you have to go over to the holiday section. Coming into the holiday area, we've got, well, a collection of holiday builds done by, I believe Electra does most of them, one of our devs. And yeah, they're really good. I believe My Name is Zeus also does a number of these. Honestly, I can't remember. The admins and devs on the server are fantastic, and they do a great job with the holiday section of the server. So this is our 7-year anniversary build. So this is where we got our shulker from. You can see where that's missing. And as you can see, it's happy 7th birthday VanillaTyme. Take one shulker. Everyone must pick up their own. That means, you know, I can't just go and grab one for, you know, a certain base mate. But I can tell him where to find it. Which, you know, is what I'll do. It's right next to the ice cream truck. Yeah, there's totally an ice cream truck. With ice cream cones, which are very cute, by the way. So yeah, that is the holiday section. So remember when I was talking about the collectibles that are available on the server? Well, the other day, I may have gotten myself another collectible scoop. Now, what is a collectible scoop, you might ask? Well, it's the thing that you can get in vote rewards that help you, well, guarantee you one of these lovely, shiny artifacts, also known as a collectible. And I'm going to open one right now. And in order to do that, I just do collectible redeem. And a drum roll, please. I got a feather. I got a feather. I already have a feather. I'll need another feather, and the feather actually doesn't do anything useful, so, you know, that's cool. But, hey, you know what? A collectible's a collectible, and we're gonna love it all the same. We've also got some new changes. You probably can't tell. Maybe you can, if you're a very astute observer. But, I added a little bit more to the lake over here. I fixed it up. Originally, it was looking to be like a little bit of a mess. There was an overhanging cliff fish thing and some trailing water. So I just, you know, brought it in a little bit. And if we come over here, I added like a little tiny stream thing. Not quite even a river. A little bitty bit that goes out into the larger lake on this side. So it kind of connects them, and it also separates these two spaces a little bit, and I'll tell you why in a second, but it has to do with that over there. But originally, I actually put these cherry trees. I put these cherry trees up, words are bad, and I did it as a way to delineate between the two areas, because one day, early on in the server, an individual laid claim to this tiny little piece of land, built their cute little house, and put up a couple walls and stuff, and that was the end of it. I never saw them online, so they must have had, you know, been online at a different time as me, I guess. But yeah, it sort of popped up overnight, and then the user never logged in again. Like, to my knowledge, they've never been back. So I left them basically this whole area here in case they wanted to develop pretty much the whole island, and then I just sort of made this tree line to cut it off a little bit. But like I said, they've never been back. So what I've done here is I've added some hills and a little bit of extra terrain and just kind of polished the area a little bit. Because I realized that if you're in the tent hanging out and you want to walk through this side, I was basically just getting a face full of tree and muck. So now we've got this nice little river network, and that sort of encloses the area. I've never shown this area back here because, well, there's not really anything here. It's just my manual trees, like my manual tree farms, and a random beetroot farm. I don't remember why I made it. I think it had something to do with one of the weekly challenges. We have like these weekly events every week. If you can see on the tab list the number on the right hand side, that is your current counter for whatever the challenge is for the week. For example, this week is crafting cakes, which I don't have a chicken farm. I mean, I could make a chicken farm pretty easily. We got some eggs. I had an egg farm early in the server, and it made a double chest. I never used them. I got rid of the farm and figured I had the eggs in case I wanted more chickens. So I guess I could make a chicken farm? Not a chicken farm, an egg farm. I would need an egg farm for cakes. You don't put chicken in cakes. I mean, I guess you could, but I mean, who are you, Joey from Friends? The real issue is not the cakes, though, because crafting cakes not a huge deal. It's more just annoying to do. But also, we got some really adventurous players on the server, and oh my gosh, do they absolutely love their challenges, and they take it very far. I have won a couple in the past. It's not easy. You basically have to dedicate your entire week to it, and unfortunately, I also have a full-time job, so I cannot do that. I mean, I would like to, but I can't do that. So, unfortunately, it means that I can't really participate in events very often unless it's like very exclusive to something that I already have kind of set up. So, that is neither here nor there. What is here and there are hills and foliage and also lakes because I made some minor additions to the lake again. Not much, just, just a little bits and things. What do they call them? Bits and bobs? Those things. And I also learned the power of ferns. BWO's recent video actually taught me about ferns. I knew they were a thing. I didn't know that you could collect them. I mean, I guess I just assumed that you could shear them, but I didn't know that you could bone meal them into the double high ferns. Or that if you break a double high fern with shears, you get two ferns, which means that you can make a fern farm. Not unlike the flower farm, sorry, not flower farm, the blah, 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 blah. My brain just broke. Ever that? Has that ever happened to you? Your brain just turned off and you're just like, all right, moving along. Yeah, glow lichen farm is what I was trying to say. You can build it very similar to glow lichen farm downstairs. In fact, if I just swapped out the glow lichen and just threw a fern there, made sure that there was two spaces, I believe that you could just run the farm as is. Maybe try that later. But I believe at the moment I want to update you on my castle progress. And by progress, I mean there is none, but I figured that we could tackle a piece of it today. Specifically, I want to do this bit. It's been sitting like an empty box, and it's the part of the castle that looks the least complete right now. So I really want to put this in before I start making changes to the other portions of the castle that I'm unhappy with. So let's do that. I'm thinking a big tall tower. Make it blue or cyan or something. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll clash with the red. Maybe it won't. If it does, then we'll take out the panes here and we'll replace them with cyan and blue and other softer colors. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that dichotomy of the two colors. That's probably not the right word. Is fine and it'll be good. But yeah, big tower here. Let's go. Okay, maybe I got a little bit hasty. I just finished collecting all of the materials that I need, and it was a lot. In fact, I did not have the means to get everything, but here we are. Thank you, shopping district. We got ourselves everything we need for this. All right, now let's get started. And there it is. I wouldn't call it anything particularly special, but I think I'm happy with how it turned out. I decided to leave the space in the front instead of the back, so maybe we could put the courtyard in the front here, and it'll add a little extra something to the build, I think. I don't think putting something like a courtyard behind really makes a lot of sense to the design. I did wind up with a little bit of an issue where, well, it's kind of hard to see all the way from the bottom. Like, it's completely out of my render distance. But as you come in, it sort of just fades into view, which is cool. So I rather like that effect a little bit. So that's that. I went with the Prismarine in the end, just because it looked pretty good. I needed to buy some materials, so thank you to Illusionist Naji and I believe Mr. Phillips Craft, as well as I found some Prismarine in his shop. Naji actually provided me some Prismarine directly from their farm, which I greatly appreciate. And I believe I also bought some stone, a couple shulker boxes of stone from, I always forget the name. It's a group of like 8 people, or more maybe, that all based together, and they have a shop, and I forget what it's called, and now I feel silly. I'm sure I'll add it in post. That'd be right here, right there. Yeah, that them. They're really cool, and I actually got a base tour from one of their members a little while ago, and they have some really cool stuff going on. It's actually what gave me inspiration to start working on a castle, because they have a couple and they look really neat. And they look actually probably a little bit better than this one does. And by a little, I mean a lot. But that's the difference between having a plan and having no plan. But this I had a plan, and I think it came out okay. I went with a little bit of texturing, not a ton, just a little bit around the corners. I went with the andesite and cobble at the bottom. The cobble gives a little bit of darker texture. Plus, I can mix the mossy cobblestone in, so it lets the leaves kind of flow into the wall a little bit. And I went with a little bit lighter here, so that then with the cobble I could do kind of darker towards the ridge line, and then lighter again. So it's almost like it's being like shadowed underneath, and then it's a little bit brighter up top. I don't know if it really kind of gives that impression, but that's what I was going for. Usually I do a little bit more work on the texturing. I decided for a light touch here just to see how it looks. And also, you can always add more later. Also, considering the castle right now is just built out of stone and stone bricks. This actually has more texturing than the rest of the castle combined, so yeah. Coming up to the top, it's just a little facade. I went with green here since it matched the prismarine fairly well. I tried a couple different colors and landed on the green. Thought it was okay. There's actually no way to get in though, unfortunately, and that's okay. Like I said, this is sort of how it looks. If I want to change that later, I can. I could always add some like a winding staircase up through the middle and have like a little bedroom way up at the top. That could be cool. So maybe if we get around to doing interior at some point, then that could be an option. And then I could open this part up into a little bit of an entranceway. So that would feed out into a yard here and then have the stairwell up. And then if I do that, I can decide on whether or not I want to add windows or anything, as depending on whether it makes sense. But for now, it is what it is. I like it. I can add something. And it gives me a bit more of a palette to work with, so it gives me a little bit of direction for the other pieces that I do want to add in here. But with that, I'm going to wrap things up, and if you liked what you saw, maybe consider subscribing, like the video, leave a comment, you know, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time.